So what's up, people, and welcome to a quick midweek Battle Angel Alita / GUNNM video. Now this is in continuation with the last video I made with regards to story extensions. And as you can see, the image in the background is quite interesting in that it has John 117 standing with Alita. To be honest, it would be interesting to see those two team up in the story. And I'll leave that as if somebody wants to make a crossover story, yes, please go ahead and I will be happy to read that as well. But that's not really the case for this particular video. As you can imagine, before I start anything, I want to quickly get this done. Spoiler alert. There is one reveal that I've mentioned in some of my previous videos, the many faces of Alita, and that story extension video, with regards to something that happens to Alita at the very end of Last Order. And so, if you didn't read to the end of Last Order, if you didn't watch the Many Faces of Alita video, and if you didn't watch the story extension video, and you don't want to be spoiled, then yes, please turn off this video. If you have watched any of those videos, you won't be spoiled because I'm just going to be repeating one thing that I mentioned in those videos. If you read to the end of Last Order, yeah, you won't be spoiled either. Okay, that's it. That's my spoiler alert. Okay, so why do I have John 117 in this background? Well, if you recall a while back, I had that interesting video, a strange video. You know, if you pitted Alita against John 117, and you basically just gave them their hand-to-hand combat skills. So Alita's Panzerkunst and some of her cybernetic skills, along with against John 117 or Master Chief's, Spartan skills and his enhanced strength body. And of course his experience as one of the best soldiers in Halo. Who would win? Okay, so I'm not going to go into the details of that with the exception of one thing. I want to thank many of you for this, and I don't remember who it was. I do remember Revan was one of the people, but you told me that the Spartans are enhanced by using nanotechnology that strengthens their body, and makes it extremely durable, as well as I would presume that it's also somewhat self-repairable. And so why do I bring this back up again? Well, in my last video, I talked about the Alita who goes back to Earth, right? And she goes back as human form. And one of the things I wanted to see was the story of Alita as she moves forward from that point on. If she gets to travel to distant cities with Vigor 4, yeah, that was my desire. I'm not about to spend another 20 minutes going over that one again. But if you recall, one of the things I was interested in was because Alita was now in human form, was she going to have a severe handicap because she won't be able to utilize her Panzerkunst skills to their optimum capability because she no longer has a cybernetic body? Will she really be able to defend herself, out in the wilderness? And we do know that the wilderness in the Battle Angel Alita universe is a very dangerous place. And so I was thinking about it, and it came back to that point that many of you mentioned about John 117 and the Spartans in general, and that they have enhanced humanoid bodies. So I presume you know where this is going, why I titled this video, Can Alita Learn from John 117? And it's not really his fighting skills or any of that, but basically his technology. Zalem has some pretty advanced technology. If they could give a cybernetic, or I should say a total replacement cyborg such as Alita, a completely human body, then there should be enough technology for her to receive similar sorts of enhancements that the Spartans get. Basically, nanotechnology, I don't know what else to call it, enhancements that will strengthen up the body's durability. But we could go even further than that. We do know that once he puts on his John 117 or Master Chief, puts on that module. I'm not sure where because of the fact that I'm not a Halo fan, but he puts that module onto some part of his body or onto his suit. He could communicate with Cortana. And of course, Cortana becomes an AI that assists John and gives John enhanced capabilities. And why I bring this up is now, if you recall the Badlands arc, Alita was pretty darn strong for that particular arc, right? I mean, if that Alita went to meet the Alita that won the Zot Championship, the Alita that won the Zot Championship will destroy the tuned Alita. But the tuned Alita at that level was pretty darn strong for that story. And so coming back, what if you were able to give somewhat tuned capabilities, the weapons that she had in tuned, and the abilities that she had. But the thing is, of course, if she's a human being, can she utilize all of those abilities? The reason she was able to use the weapons and use those interesting gadgets was because she was a cyborg and she was cybernetically controlling them with her body. But again, coming back, if she was to utilize the technologies of nanotechnology so that she has now organic cybernetic hybrid enhanced body, and on top of that she was implanted with a AI cybernetic communication device that would give her the ability not only to have her version of Cortana, maybe a male one, but also the ability to give her the enhancements, the things that she somewhat had, the ability to, for example, hack into computer entities, the ability to activate bombs and stuff like that in the field, and the ability to communicate with local networks, then would that give her the ability that will make her similar to a Spartan? And the reason why I say this once again is, she will not be as strong no matter how much she tries. She will not be as strong as the Alita that's in Mars. The Alita that's in Mars is in a whole different level. You could call her a demigod at that point, because you remember between her and Danfa, they destroyed something that was the equivalent of a huge galactic destroyer. Maybe not the size of a Death Star, but something of similar sort of devastating capability, called what was it called? I forgot what it was called. The Sword of Damocles, that's what it was called. Anyway, but that's a separate Alita. But in this case, she doesn't really need that capability. And why I ask this question is because although Alita is in Mars, Merlin is still on Earth. And although Merlin really has no ties to this particular Alita, I would think that he would recognize that, this Alita has a very similar personality to the Alita that went to Mars. And one of the reasons why he turned Alita or offered Alita the ability to become the Last Order agent. Now I'm talking about the Alita in Mars, and maybe I'll call her Alita 2. He offered Alita 2 that capability is because of the fact that he felt that Alita had the values necessary to do the things that he was hoping would get done. And so if that Alita's personality was basically taken from the foundation personality of Alita 1, then would Merlin feel that Alita 1 also is trustworthy enough for him to feel that he could give enhancements to Alita so that she can do various things on Earth. Maybe not as a last order agent, but still as a field operative for Merlin, for Vector maybe, for Ito, whoever will be governing the new Earth and the new Zalem of that time. And then that will help tie into this entire thing in the sense that then you could have a part of the story where she, gets down on herself because of the fact that she can't defend herself the way she used to, and she feels hopeless from that. And somewhere along the way, as she keeps on going and she almost, gets herself killed, they bring her back, and Merlin decides to enhance her and give her at least partial capabilities of her Panzerkunst back. And again, the reasons why John 117 is such a good role model for what her capabilities could be is because of the fact that he would have similar sorts of enhancements as Alita would be getting. And of course, at that point, and if you give Alita all of her her tuned weapons, and potentially even greater depending upon what Merlin is willing to give her, she might become an equivalent to John 117, because in human form there is absolutely no way she could win a fight against John 117 or Master Chief, right? So that video I made in the past, who would win? Master Chief would turn her into dust, in a matter of seconds. But if she was able to get those enhancements to the level that, the Master Chief can handle himself, then that will definitely be an interesting way of having that Alita 1, travel and experience the journeys on Earth, while Alita 2 is trying to resolve all the things up in Mars Chronicle. So I thought that was a very interesting thing. And it was something that actually in my last video, a gentleman named Stopskilton. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your name right, so I apologize if I mispronounce it, but I think it's Stopskilton or something like that. And thank you very much for your comment. By the way, you always make such interesting comments, and many of you do, like It's Lionel and Shoji Wars and Barry Benz and many of you out there. And I hope you keep on commenting. But that's about it. This is all I wanted to say with this video. It was one of those things that came up in the last video. That was after I made it, about looking back at that one John 117 versus Alita video. I was thinking, hey, isn't there any reason why, or is there any reason why Alita wouldn't be able to get the same sorts of capabilities, considering that Zalem was so advanced in its technology that should be relatively straightforward to them. Okay, well, that's about it for this video. Sorry for the strangeness of this video, but I just wanted to bring this up as another discussion point. And I'll continue to make more of those normal Battle Angel Alita videos in the future. If you could call any of my videos normal, I'm not sure. But if you join me in the future, I thank you at that time. And until then, Jaya, nice day, everyone.